Yeah, an interesting time. I said I'm sort of closer to 16th place Derby in the table than they are to second place Middlesbrough at the moment. I mean, it's a mad congested championship table, 8 points separating third and 16th at the moment. I don't know, Mark. What's your gut feeling? Which way
I
do
think that
you feel it's heading?
I personally think they'll be okay. I mean, they're almost kind of been fifth by default at the moment. They've not been great,
But
and yet,
what is okay?
well, I think they'll be at least in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Which
I agree.
are top two maybe getting away from them. But if you just said they're going to be in the playoffs, they're going to be with a chance of going up. That's what we want from the season, isn't it? We can't. I know you can look at it on paper and go, well, they spent more money than anyone else, and therefore they should be 30 points clear at the top of the table. It doesn't work like that. That's not the way football works. You have to build a team, and that's what they're still in the process of doing. It reminds me a little bit, actually, Stu, of the League One promotion season, where again there were obviously high expectations. There was a big money side for that level, and that for much of that season they kind of were stop start, weren't they? And we obviously then recorded that podcast after the Bristol Rovers thing where we literally said, "Are they good enough?" And we reeled off a lot of the problems which we've been talking about now: the rotation, style of play, predictability, all that kind of stuff. And then obviously they went on that ridiculous unbeaten run and got themselves promoted. So it feels to me a little bit like maybe that sort of season where when they finally, if they do finally gel or click, or whatever you want to call it, it might be, a couple of months down the line, and then they go on a bit of a tear. But I think generally speaking, they are in the mix for promotion in what is a fairly average league. So I'm inclined to think
the League One comparison is a really interesting and a good one, I think, with that promotion season because, yeah, the pressure was on for Ipswich to get promoted that year, and I did, that 0-0 at Bristol Rovers on Valentine's Day, wasn't it, with Morsey going over to the fans and confronting them afterwards, and it was like all the scars of the past were kind of old wounds reopen. Here we go again, typical Ipswich. They're still going to blow it and all of that sort of stuff. And the January transfer window played a massive part, didn't it, in that season with Broadhead and Clark and Luongo and who else? Did Hurst come in that window as well?
Yeah.
So there is still January to come in this season, and it may have a role to play. The point about it being an average division, I would agree with. I'm still waiting for anyone to kind of blow my socks off in terms of someone I've seen up close and personal. I was waiting to see what Coventry are all about. Obviously, we didn't see them anywhere near at their best last week. I thought Stoke looked a decent side, but I look at that top six with Preston and Millwall in there. Can they last the pace? I don't know. They feel like sort of Mick McCarthy type Ipswich teams from a few years back that are kind of quite functional and consistent, but will it be enough to keep them there or get them over the line? I'm not convinced. The issue is, and you don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves, it might not be like this division might not be like this a year. If Ipswich don't do it this season, you're into year two, the final year of parachute payments. The pressure's well and truly on then to get promoted, and you could have Wolves and whoever else dropping down from the Prem. If Southampton and Leicester don't do it this year, they probably, get stronger to go again, and it's a different kettle of fish that next year. So it's all very well us saying, "Oh, they'll be okay, they'll be fine, they'll finish in the 80 odd points and they'll finish in the playoffs." And but is that enough? Should that be enough given what they've spent and the time they've had to prepare for this as well? They've known really for a long time they were heading to the Championship, and really they're sort of chasing their tail a little bit because of the mad late scrambling in the transfer window, which could that have been handled a bit better? Is that going to prove costly over time? They're all the sort of questions that people, are fair to ask, I think.